Here the game never stops. From the locker room to the pitch, from tactics to epic moments, everything that happens in football is here. Untoz Sports. Live the game. Subscribe now and get in the game.
Welcome to our audio commentary coverage. This broadcast is not an official product of this competition.
The options either side for him. Kickoff's trying to open up the gap inside. It's found the ball just outside of the centre circle and can take this forward into Chelsea's half as the gap continues to open up for him. Takes it to the edge of the area. He's tripped by Caicedo. A free kick in a very dangerous position here for Liverpool. And a chance to do something as he just drove forward with the gap opening up for him. The midfielders of Chelsea just stepped away. Caicedo and Andre Santos just seemed to divert their attention away from Milos Kerkez as he got the ball inside of Liverpool's half and took it into Chelsea's quite comfortably. Now from around about 22 yards out, I'd say, a two-man wall being set up by Philippe Jorgensen. As we've got a couple of Liverpool players stood over this free kick. In fact, the referee's actually taking it a few yards further back than where it looked the foul had taken place. But it's Dominic Szoboszlai that stood over this. Three players in the wall now as Colwell joins. Augusto and Hato, the other two in the wall. Most of the players back for Chelsea. Say probably about 25, 26 yards out for Dominic Szoboszlai. To his left-hand side is some spaces in Gamoa. Moving shorter is Milos Kerkez. Everyone else forward, but everyone for Chelsea is in line with the wall. So there's really no idea here for Liverpool to be able to try and get the ball into the box. They're risking a lot of offsides, but it's very risky from Chelsea as well, because if that offside trap is beaten, it's looking very dangerous for a Liverpool chance. And it's Szoboszlai that stood over this free kick currently, as the wall has been readjusted by Craig Pawson. Szoboszlai lines this up from range, sends it goalwards, it's blocked, it's fallen back to Milos Kerkez, plays stay forward for Liverpool, out to the left-hand side for Ngamoa, he's up against Palmer, on the edge of the area, a couple of step-overs, brings it onto his right foot, across to Gravenberch, lines one up, and that's a lovely strike from Ryan Gravenberch to give Liverpool the lead. From outside of the area, a finesse shot across Philippe Jorgensen, who had absolutely no chance to get to it. It just sailed into the top corner to give Liverpool a very well-deserved lead so far. While some of the passing from out from the back has been very questionable, just driving the ball forward as Chelsea opened up the gap for them has given Liverpool this chance, and despite the effort from the free kick from Szoboszlai being blocked, it's been worked up even still, and Gamoa on the edge of the area. And as he got Cole Palmer just in front of him, Gusto then come close. João Pedro also closed down the angle, and it just gave too much space for Ryan Gravenberch to take the first touch on his right foot, open up the space across his body, and finesse the ball into the far corner to give Liverpool the lead. And that would be very harsh to say. Anything else could have been done by Philippe Jorgensen. His positioning in goal was spot on, but he had to just throw his body, cat-like throw across the goal, but couldn't get his outstretched right arm to the ball. And Liverpool have the 1-0 lead that they need to secure qualification into the Champions League for next season, which after the very poor start to the season that Liverpool endured will be exactly what Arne Slot intended for his side by the conclusion of this season, to regroup and go again. The era of the Liverpool Premier League champions is surely ending at the end of this season. The likes of Andy Robertson and Mo Salah departing. But Champions League football opens the dawning of a new era for Liverpool, as Arne Slot will be relied upon to bring in very reliable replacements for such strong personnel. Chelsea now back underway for us. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 0, 6.5 minutes gone at Anfield. And it's back to Jorgensen, who again goes route one upfield. And Virgil van Dijk heads that ball away unchallenged up towards the halfway line. McAllister battling with Palmer currently. Arms round each other at the moment, and the pass nearly falls back to Ngamoa, but the referee stops things for a free kick inside of Liverpool's half for Chelsea on that right-hand side, taken by Gusto, played inside now to Fofana, and then across to Colwell. And it looks like Chelsea have reverted back to a back four now. They did have three centre-backs to start things for us, and João Hato is now playing more of a left-back role. Cucurella now relied upon to push further upfield, but Gusto will now be sitting back in a right-back position as Santos. Now to Caicedo, out to the left-hand side for Fernandez, by the touchline, further over is Cucurella, plays it inside instead to João Hato, now inside to Colwell. Finds a gap here for Caicedo to take this into Liverpool's half, to his left-hand side, Fernandez. Overlapping now by Cucurella. Cross comes in towards the back post. Running in is Gusto. Back across the middle. Pedro can't get his shot away. The challenge comes in from Van Dijk. And it's cleared away by McAllister up towards the halfway line. Liverpool clear the danger. They'll need to regroup if Chelsea take the throw in to keep this pressure on. But it's a lively start from Chelsea after going 1-0 down. Now to Santos. To his left-hand side to Hato. Now inside to Caicedo. Gives it to Fernandez, still inside of Chelsea's half currently. That run being made at the back post by Gusto just moments ago. Nobody was picking up on that at all. That's where Kirkes really needs to be a bit more focused. As Gusto plays this back through the middle, and the ball across the middle was sublime. It was just ahead of Mamardashvili and required some defensive presence, and it was Van Dijk that got in the way. Colwell now through the middle for Pedro, turns on the ball in space. His pass is blocked out and it falls to McAllister. Still inside of Liverpool's half, now across to Kirkes. Inside to Van Dijk on the edge of the area, across to Konate. Konate looks further to his right-hand side as Frimpong's the option. Instead plays it through the middle. A turn on the ball there by Dominic Szoboszlai. Now to McAllister. Tries to utilise the gap that's opened up. But Colwell covers well and it's out to Cucurella on the left-hand side. Now to Fernandez. Inside towards Caicedo. Now outside of the centre circle, still with Moises Caicedo. Santos lets the ball roll across to Fofana. Outside of the centre circle, inside of their own half. And now to Colwell. Out to Hatter. So now to Cucurella. Into the gap. Cucurella's going to try and get there, but it's just too much on the ball and out of play for a goal kick. Just managed to escape the run there of Curtis Jones on that right-hand side. Just tries to break up that gap, but as Cucurella did just a moment ago, found himself some space in the cross that came in. It was a good header by Van Dijk to get the ball away from João Pedro. He was surrounded by not just Van Dijk, but Konate as well. As Konate stuck his foot in the way, Van Dijk's just thrown his head at the ground to get in the way. Exactly what you need from your captain, that sort of attention to get to the ball, and that sort of determination to get to the ball. As Chelsea's clearance now falls to Frimpong. On the edge of the area, cross comes into the middle, it's diverted behind by Hato, and it will be a corner, the first corner of the afternoon, and it will go to the hosts out on the right-hand side. And across goes Alexis McAllister. As we currently just have Gakpo and Ngamoa inside of the area, but I imagine on their way are both Konate and Van Dijk as they make their way into the box now. No rush from Liverpool currently. 10 minutes gone here at Anfield. If you are just joining us, Liverpool 1, Chelsea 0. A sublime finish by Gravenberch, the difference between the two sides currently. Outswinging corner on its way by Alexis McAllister. And the two centre-backs from Liverpool. The aerial threat, the biggest aerial threat perhaps in terms of height in the Premier League this season. They both make their presence felt as the corner is taken short to Jones. Now back to Szoboszlai. Cross comes in towards the back post. Finds Van Dijk. Unmarked. He sends that into Rosette. The flag stays down. But that is a security for Chelsea there. They've really let things go at the back. The ball over to the back post. I don't quite understand why or how you leave Virgil van Dijk on his own in that much space. Fernandez has just moved away from him. Expected him to be in an offside position, but he's moved too late. But to me, he looked onside. He really should be hitting the target. Centre-back or striker, you should be hitting the target from 7 yards out when you're unchallenged, especially when you're as talented as Virgil van Dijk is and attacking set pieces. Straight from the goal kick, Van Dijk heads it back into Chelsea's half though, and it's brought down by McAllister. It's passed back towards Ngamoa, has taken a deflection from Gusto, and it'll be thrown on the left-hand side now for Liverpool, just inside of their own half. But it just goes to show that that lapse in concentration for Chelsea is gifting these chances for Liverpool. And that one really should have been taken. Or at least forcing Jorgensen into some stop. Now it's with Van Dijk, played across the middle to Konate, inside of Liverpool's half currently, up towards Szoboszlai. First touch pass inside, required Van Dijk to get there first as Palmer was in the ascendancy. As now it's with Mirkos and the chance for Liverpool in the opposing half. Now with Ngamoa on the edge of the area, waits for the overlap and run by Kirkos. Onto his left foot, chips in towards the middle, headed away by Hato. It falls to McAllister on the edge of the area, to his right-hand side now with Jones. Still inside the area, cross comes in over Gusto. Will it be kept in play there by Ngamoa? He's going to have a job to do so, he can't. It's going to be a throw into Chelsea on that right-hand side. But just then, as Ngamoa came up against Gusto, a couple of step-overs, faked the drag in, took it down the left-hand side, beat his defender, and just chipped the ball across the middle. Had to cut inside to head the ball away. But Liverpool, down that left-hand side, look extremely dangerous, with Kirkes overlapping and Ngamoa giving a second dimension to this Liverpool attack. It's cleared away in desperation by Gusto. It'll be a throw into Liverpool deep inside Chelsea's half on the left-hand side. But they've really approached an attacking intent from this game to kick things off for us of Liverpool, and it's forced Chelsea on the back foot. Even when they've been cutting out some of these Liverpool passes, and now Liverpool have found their stride, they don't seem to be giving as many interceptions away. Liverpool seem to have found their stride now with Kirkes. Still with Ungamoa on the left-hand side. Now back to Van Dijk inside of his own half. Still with Konate over to his right-hand side. That's where Van Dijk gives the ball to on the edge of the centre circle. Coming short now is Soboslai. Konate takes this away into his right-hand side, finds Frimpong. Closed down now by Atson Kukurea. And back to Jones. Now Soboslai and Jones again. Has a job to get this away from Kukurea. He's under a lot of pressure currently. Forced into his own half and across to Van Dijk, finds some space. Van Dijk can take this into Chelsea's half and out to Milos Kerkez. That run being made by Ungamoa. And back it goes again to Jones. Now to McAllister. Into his own half to Van Dijk. Pressure there from Andre Santos, forcing Liverpool back into their own half. But they're trying to find those gaps. They're giving a lot of focus at the moment to that pass and move inside the midfield. Now to Konate. McAllister comes across to him again. Lets this run over to Soboslai. Looked to his right-hand side, but saw the pass to Frimpong wasn't on, so goes back to Van Dijk, who chips this through the middle. The run's been made there by McAllister, but it's comfortably gone all the way through to Jorgensen inside of his own area. He'll roll this out now to Levi Colwill, and a chance again for Chelsea to maybe come away with the ball. Now to Fofana, out to the right-hand side for Gusto. Gusto further down the right, closed down by Ungamoa, and Gusto plays this back to the edge of the area to Fofana. Now across the middle for Colwill. And now Santos, with Gakpo in his stride. And then across to Caicedo. And now Colwill, Chelsea forced deep inside of their own half currently, albeit in possession. Now to Fernandes. And across it goes to Fofana. Out to his right-hand side, Gusto. Then Kerkez moves across with him, so he's found Caicedo instead inside. Now to Enzo Fernandez. He's forced quite far back for a player that's meant to be playing in the attacking third. That shows just how far Chelsea are being forced back and how much these attacking players are needing to come back to try and create something, trying to help something as Enzo Fernandez has pushed forward. Now it's to João Pedro through the middle. First touch past Van Dijk, he's then tripped. Free kick to Chelsea inside of Liverpool's half. They're really struggling to get out of their own half currently. That's the first time they've managed to do so in a good 5-6 minutes as Chelsea have just been penned back inside of their own half. And straight from the free kick, Caicedo's played the ball back into his own half again, and now Cole Palmer is probably one of the three furthest back players for Chelsea at the moment. As over the top it goes by Colwill, but all the way through to Mohamed Ashfali inside the 6-yard box. There are no Chelsea players in that area. And I think that's a sense of frustration at the moment from Levi Colwill. No options on for him, fed up of playing the ball short, trying to do something for Chelsea in that attacking third, and just playing the ball over the top to nobody making the run. As McAllister tries the same for Liverpool, but out to the right-hand side. But he's got Frimpong making a run. He's up against so at the moment, but it's Frimpong in possession into his left foot. He's got Soboslai on the edge of the area, plays the ball back to him. And now all the way back to Jones. And now to Gravenberch on the edge of the centre circle into his own half to Konate. And now to Soboslai. Van Dijk's opening up a gap on that left-hand side as Konate takes this away from Pedro. Now to Jones. And now to Soboslai. Out to his left-hand side for Van Dijk. Still forced back to his own goalkeeper though, and on the edge of the area currently with Mohamed Ashfali. Out to his right-hand side again for Konate. And then inside for Mohamed Ashfali again. Takes this to the penalty spot. Still to his left-hand side there are options as he chips this ball over the top. Nudging the back there on Gravenberch, referee lets it go. Gusto plays this back to Colwill. He's let it run for Hato, but he's had to get there first as Frimpong was closing him down. Miscommunication in the Chelsea defence there, but they've got away with it as it's back with Jorgensen on the edge of the 6-yard box currently. Out to his right-hand side now, finds the space for Fofana. Now to Gusto, inside to Palmer. Palmer's then tripped by McAllister. Another free kick to Chelsea. An uproar from the Liverpool supporters who clearly disagreed with the referee's decision. McAllister was also in that same area disagreeing with the referee. Played back now by Gusto from the free kick all the way back to Colwill. Out to his left hand side for Kukurea, who loses out to Jones. Jones inside to Soboslai, now back to Konate. Outside of the centre circle, now to Jones. Inside of their own half, to his left hand side finds Van Dijk, who can take this into Chelsea's half. On the left hand side of the centre circle, out to Ungamoa. First touch tries to beat Gusto, who recovers well. And out to play for Liverpool, throwing on the left hand side, but it's still, if anything's going to happen, it's going to come for the hosts at the moment. Chelsea just struggling any sort of possession. This high press from Liverpool trying to force these errors. And it's all be it given Chelsea 2 free kicks. Those free kicks have both been forced back towards their own goal. Not being able to get the ball forward at all as Van Dijk plays this across to Konate. Now to Jones. Jones out to the left-hand side for Kirkes. Kirkes tries to knock this past Gusto, but loses out in possession. Down the right-hand side now, Gusto takes it into the opposing half, but Liverpool back in numbers. Palmer goes into his own half to Fofana. And to his left-hand side, he finds Colwell. And now to Caicedo. Across the middle to Fofana, and Chelsea will try and regroup and go again. Now to Palmer. Has an option inside in Santos. Still the option for him, but channels now cut out as Ngamo and McAllister get back. And again, Liverpool's they're pushing forward in numbers, attacking, but defensively, the attackers are making it so far back to make things difficult for Chelsea. Now it's with Enzo Fernandez. That's Cole Palmer to his right-hand side. Goes across to Fofana, inside of the centre circle. Now to Caicedo. Gets the ball away from Szoboszlai to his right-hand side. Nearly gets through to Gusto. And Ngamo wins it back. Kirkes gets the scuffed clearance. It falls back to Ngamo anyway on the edge of the area. He's up against two Chelsea players. Gives it back to Kirkes, who has to hook his clearance, but it's out of play for a throw-in for Chelsea on that right-hand side. I think Ngamo tried to do more with the ball down the left-hand side. Couldn't seem to do so, and Fofana throws this back into his own half to Colwell. And now Santos. Outside of the centre circle, across again to Colwell. Through the middle for Palmer, turns on the ball out to his left-hand side, gets it through the middle for João Pedro. Driving through the middle, but it's gone straight into the arms of Mamardashvili. He remained alert and was almost on the edge of his area from the moment the ball was played through the middle by Palmer. And João Pedro just couldn't seem to get the ball under control. Too much on the pass from Palmer, but the flag stayed down. It would have been a good pass otherwise, as Cucurella goes into the challenge with Jones, and it's going to be given as a Liverpool free kick. Just behind the touchline, and Jones plays this short now to Gravenberch. Has to go back to Jones just outside of the area. Started in a midfield position for Liverpool since his signing. Seems to be utilised as a right-back option now, with Gomez available on the bench if required, as Kirkes is knocked down by Fofana, and a free kick's given just in front of the technical area for Liverpool. And Kirkes is slow back to his feet as he went sliding into the not just the technical area, but the dugout and the seating area. So he may well be slow back to his feet as he's taken a bit of a knock from that, but you'd imagine he is able to carry on, just the force in which he has gone down. And he's back to his feet now. Andy Robertson is available on the bench. Perhaps will also feature later on this afternoon, and you'd expect to see something very similar when it gets towards the final home game of the season against Brentford. As Fofana's challenge did come in late, and just looking at the replay, it was quite a heavy challenge on Kirkes. So had to take a moment to regroup. And from the free kick goes back to Van Dijk. Across the middle now for Konate. Just outside of the centre circle, then to McAllister, now for Szoboszlai. And back to Van Dijk again. Now to Konate. Down that right-hand side. First touch lasers off from Frimpong. He gets the return pass. He's going to be racing down that right-hand side. Colwell sweeps across well. Gets there to cover Hato and gets the ball out of play for a Liverpool throw-in. And it's taken almost immediately towards Jones. And back to Szoboszlai. And then back to Jones. They tried to catch Chelsea off guard, similar to what Cucurella did in the opening minutes for Chelsea with his early throw-in. Now inside to Szoboszlai, outside of the centre circle. Turns to his left-hand side, and across it goes to Van Dijk. Still with Van Dijk currently. To his right-hand side now for Konate. Pedro moves across to chase him down, but he's just chasing shadows at the moment as it gets back to Jones. Now across to Van Dijk. Kirkes still out to the left-hand side. Van Dijk through the middle, first touch by Gravenberch, lays this ball off, and now it's with McAllister pushing forward out to the left-hand side. And Ngamo on the edge of the area, up against Gusto, takes it into the area, onto his right foot. Similar sort of distance where Gravenberch scored from. He's surrounded by three Chelsea players, and Ngamo has still got the pass off to McAllister. Now to Gakpo, can't get the shot away, and now the flag goes up against Gakpo. How Ngamo has managed to have three Chelsea players surrounding him on the edge of the area. And he's not only turned on the ball once, but he's turned on the ball twice, faced back towards Chelsea's goal and still fed the ball through to Alexis McAllister. And Ngamo at the moment is proving all sorts of trouble for Chelsea. And it looked very close to whether Gakpo was in an onside position or not when McAllister made the pass. But looking at the replay, the linesman's got the decision correct. Gakpo was offside, but it's outrageous how Ngamo is so confident against this Chelsea defence so far. Only his second start of the season, and he scored in his last start. They're hoping to replicate that, and he's started very promising in this game so far as the ball goes away by Jorgensen. It goes all the way through to Mamardashvili inside of the area, who takes a touch. Halfway through this first half, Liverpool 1, Chelsea 0. here in the early kickoff of the Premier League this Saturday afternoon. Just looking at how that has an impact on the league standings. Liverpool, of course, remain in 4th place. As it stands, they sit 3 points ahead of Aston Villa. They have the better goal difference also, but more importantly, they are 9 points clear of Bournemouth, who make the trip to Craven Cottage to play Fulham at 3 o'clock. And that could be a huge game for both of those sides. Of course, with Chelsea losing here, it opens up the chance that if Fulham can get the win, they can go just to 1 point behind 6th place with 2 games left to go. The business end of the Premier League season is well and truly upon us. As now the pass from Van Dijk, left to run by Szoboszlai. With opening Emerel was there, but only Gusto was. And he wins the ball back for Chelsea and plays it back now to Levi Colwill. On the edge of the centre circle, to his left-hand side now to Jarell Heto. And back inside to Colwill. Again towards the edge of the area, he's got Caicedo and Santos just ahead of him. Plays this ball short to Santos on the edge of the centre circle, and now across to Fofana. Through the middle, turns on it, does João Pedro, and just sent clear by McAllister. It's going to be a goal kick to Chelsea. I think he saw the goalkeeper off his line and thought he fancied his chances, but the ball didn't gain enough height, nor was it on target. But it does put Chelsea on the back foot, and this goal kick is going to be taken from the left-hand side of the 6-yard box by Levi Colwill. Now, Jorgensen has remained inside the 6-yard box, and out to the right-hand side, he's got Fofana as he gets the pass now from Colwill. He makes his way to the edge of the area and gets the return pass, and up the field it goes over the head of Ibrahima Konate. We've got Cucurella closing him down. Konate tries to let that run out of play for a goal kick. I don't think the ball's going to do it. It is. He's got a bit of a challenge with Cucurella in doing so. Konate's ended up on the floor, but the ball's gone out of play for a goal kick, which is what he intended. And I think that was just frustration from Cucurella. He had a lot of distance to try and get the ball back from Konate. The Liverpool defender's done well just to shield the ball out of play. And a goal kick to Liverpool. And I imagine they take a very similar approach to what Chelsea did just moments ago with playing the ball out from the back. And the centre-back options as he plays it out now to Van Dijk and out left to Kerkez. Back inside now to Van Dijk inside the area. Across to Konate on the edge of the area. Up towards the halfway line. Over the top it goes into the channel, but out of play for a throw-in on the left-hand side. Liverpool wanted a free kick there for a nudge in the back on Konate. Referee says nothing to it and gives the throw-in to Chelsea, and it is taken by Atto and goes back to Fernandes into Chelsea's half. Now up to Palmer. Now Caicedo out to his left-hand side for Enzo Fernandes. Fernandes to his right to Caicedo. Goes over now to Fofana outside of the centre circle, out right to Gusto. Gusto's pass inside. First touch by Andre Santos, takes this out right to the touchline. He's got the overlapping run there from Gusto. That's been chased down by Kerkez though. Gusto still gets the pass by the touchline still. A lot of work to do. Tries to knock the ball past Kerkez, but Liverpool there at the moment, and Kerkez brought down. A free kick is given to Liverpool. As Kerkez just knocked the ball past. Gusto knocked the ball past Kerkez, expecting the Liverpool left back to try and clear the ball and put him under more pressure in his own half, but Kerkez just went down, and it was an easy free kick for the referee to give as Gusto had put his arms around the Liverpool fullback. I can guarantee that is not where the foul took place, but Virgil van Dijk will move this at 10 yards further infield and take this from the edge of the area on this left-hand side. And we'll switch it across to the right, and the header is won by Fofana, headed back down by Gravenberch, but then away by Cucurella, flicked on by João Pedro, and Van Dijk heads this away. Cucurella gets his left foot there first, and it's out to Enzo Fernandes, keeps it in play, goes back into his own half now to Atto, and now to Caicedo, into the gap there for Cucurella, who's into the area. Cucurella with a chance here for Chelsea, across the middle, good save by Mohamed Ashfili. It falls to Gusto, still inside the area, plays it across the middle, and it's away by Van Dijk, out to the right-hand side for Chelsea still. But Cucurella sprung that offside trap and found the gap down that left-hand side, as he has been doing quite a lot. Curtis Jones just seems to have lost his man for the second time in quick succession, as it's now with Fernandes out to the left-hand side again to Cucurella by the touchline. Chelsea now hoping to build on this momentum they've started to put together. Now they want to capitalise on it with Palmer on the edge of the centre circle out to the left-hand side. Still with Cucurella down that left. Palmer comes inside and plays it across to Colwill. Now to Caicedo. To his right-hand side he's got Fofana, goes back to Colwill again and now to Palmer. And now Caicedo. Out to his left-hand side for Fernandes. Then again to Caicedo inside of the centre circle. Now Colwill. Down that left-hand side. Possession still at the moment with Jarell Heto. Now to Caicedo, across to Fofana, and Chelsea will try again from the right-hand side to Palmer, brings this inside and past McAllister. Still with Palmer currently, but he's got no options to press that ball further forward, and goes across to Colwell, who can move forward with the ball. Atletico just alongside him on the edge of the area, back to Colwell, and now inside to Fernandez. Options in the middle if Chelsea can get across into the box, but they can't do so just yet. Back it goes to Hato, his cross is blocked. Out for a throw-in on that left-hand side to Chelsea, equal with the edge of the area. Taken down now to Fernandez, still with Chelsea in possession. Across to Caicedo, everybody behind the ball at the moment for Liverpool. Caicedo drops this ball off to Santos. Now to Colwell, back to Fernandez. Again to Santos, now for Fofana. To his right-hand side for Gusto. Palmer's got some space inside, that's where he feeds the ball through to. He's looking for that perfect pass again, but he's forced back to his own half to Colwell. And now to Hato. Now to Cucurella. Back to Hato again as Gravenberch is the one that moves across. Pass inside to Caicedo. It opens up a gap here for Chelsea. Now towards João Pedro. Tackle comes in from Canate, but it's still possession with the visitors. Santos out to the right-hand side for Gusto on the edge of the area. Closed down by Kirkes and now by Ngamoa. Ngamoa wins it back for Liverpool and comes away with the ball down the left-hand side. Gets ahead of Gusto, who puts the foot in, and it gives the ball back to Santos. And it's back to Chelsea in possession now. And it's with Caicedo inside of the centre circle. But as Ngamoa won the ball back, he didn't have any options going forward. He's trying to get the ball out of a dangerous position for Liverpool. Now back to Caicedo, and the run was being made by Cucurella, who wanted the immediate pass back, didn't get it. He's back into an onside position now as Caicedo finds Cucurella on the edge of the area. Options in the middle. If he brings it inside onto his right foot, has to go back to Colwell again. Now to Caicedo. Chips over the top towards Cucurella again. Inside the area. Brings it down on his chest, but Mohamed Ashford gets there inside the 6-yard box again. But Cucurella, everything that's working at the moment for Chelsea is going in the direction of Marc Cucurella. They just can't do anything to stop him at the moment, Liverpool. That was a lovely placed ball just over the head of Canate. Brought down on the chest by Chelsea's left-back, who's now playing in more of an attacking role this afternoon. And it's just Chelsea that have been in possession for the last 5 minutes or so. Just can't do anything with it. Caicedo to the left-hand side for Hato. Now to Cucurella again. Now to Fernandez. Under pressure from Szoboszlai, gets the pass off to Caicedo just before being dispossessed. Now to Colwell, back to Caicedo. Free kick goes in Chelsea's favour just outside of the centre circle. Referee pulls a stop to play just for the moment. Again, just looking, this time it was Virgil van Dijk keeping Cucurella onside. Before that it was Kirkes. This Liverpool back line is not in line at all. It's just gifting these chances to Cucurella. His cross now is blocked by Canate, who wants a goal kick. And that's exactly what he's got. Cucurella is furious with the referee's decision. I'm just looking at the replay. It has bounced back off the toe of Cucurella. In fact, the corner is what's given. After Cucurella threw the ball down, the referee did initially give a goal kick. This corner's taken short to Cucurella. Now to Santos. His pass inside's blocked by Gravenberch. Now back to Caicedo. Out to the right-hand side for Hato. Crossing towards the back post. Nobody's there. Out of play it goes for a goal kick. The only player in that sort of area was possibly the shortest player on the field in Enzo Fernandez. Not the player you want to be targeting with a cross into the box. It's going to be a Liverpool goal kick. They'll have a moment just to try and halt that momentum, swing the pendulum back in their favour. Mohamed Ashford plays this short to Van Dijk. Now to Kirkes on the left. On that left-hand side to Ngamoa, brings this down but under pressure by Fofana. Pass inside now to McAllister. Turns to his right-hand side and looks for support. Out it goes now to Canate on the edge of the area. Now inside to McAllister. McAllister turns to his right for any options, gives it to Gravenberch again. Now into his own half to Canate. Down that right-hand side, he gets away from João Pedro. Canate takes this into Chelsea's half now. Forced again to turn on the ball, and he's brought down by Caicedo, and it will be a free kick just inside of Liverpool's half to Liverpool. And Canate just taking an extra moment before getting back to his feet. The challenge wasn't anything too serious. If anything, it was more the landing, I think, would have maybe knocked the wind out of Ibrahima Canate. Still that strike inside the opening 9 minutes of the game by Ryan Gravenberch, and some strike it was. Definitely a contender for goal of the month. An early contender for goal of the month, in fact. Played now by Ngamoa across to Van Dijk. And back out to Mundo by the touchline. Inside to Virgil van Dijk, across the middle to Kanate. Out to the right hand side now for Frimpong. That's the ball off for Sobersline, into his own half for Kanate. All the way back to his goalkeeper. Now with Mamardashvili out to his left hand side for Kirkes. He goes over him and out of play for a throw into Chelsea. And Gusto's wanting to take this quickly, but no Chelsea players were in that area to join him. And Gusto's just going to have to wait for more support before doing anything for it. As that ball away by Mamardashvili is left on his slot, rubbing his head in question as to the decision from Mamardashvili to put so much on the pass out wide. As the pass inside this time gives a free kick to Chelsea on the edge of the area. Stood over this, across comes Enzo Fernandez. Cole Palmer stood over it as well. Fernandez on the right foot, or Palmer on the left. Plays up from the back for Chelsea and Fofana and Colwell. Quite a deep line sat by Liverpool here. The free kicks around about 30 yards out, a bit further out than where Soboslai had his from earlier. And it is Fernandez stood over this free kick. Only one player in the wall though for Liverpool. Fernandez sends this in towards the middle. It's evaded everybody. It's gone in at the far post. And it's found its way through. Fofana's held his hands up saying he didn't touch the ball and gifted the goal to Enzo Fernandez. It's a very tame free kick at best, and it's just rolled across the middle of the field. Nobody's latched onto the end of it. And Mamardashvili, who couldn't really commit to his right-hand side, the ball's just rolled all the way through into the far corner, and Chelsea have their reward for their domination since going a goal behind. It's got to go down though. It's poor defending from Liverpool. A pass like that cannot make its way through the middle of the field. Now when the ball was played, the furthest player back was Ibrahima Kanate. So there will be no offside in this one. But the ball's just played across the middle. Fofana's trying to get onto the end of it. It says that he didn't touch it. It's gone in at the far post. But there's no Liverpool player through the middle. And I'm not quite sure how they've not managed to get rid of the ball at that point. They've just completely left Chelsea running through the middle, hoping the flag would go up. It's a lapse in concentration from the hosts. And Chelsea are back on level terms. And Enzo Fernandez won't be able to believe that he's got himself on the score sheet from that situation. The free kick looked like it was in a certain position of you can't score from here. But he just sent his shot on target. And they're back on level terms. And Liverpool will get things underway for us. And as they dribble up through the middle, Enzo Fernandez wins it back. He now takes it through the middle himself. Over the top to Caicedo. Now to Pedro inside the area. Pedro turns on the ball onto his left foot. His effort's been blocked. It falls back to Cucurella. Cross comes in towards the middle. And Mo is there against Gusto. Gusto gets there ahead of him. Still in possession at the moment. Back to Fernandez. Back to Gusto inside the area. Drilled across the middle. Headed away by Van Dijk. Falls to Fernandez. Now to Caicedo. Tries to get it back with Kanate. Hooks the ball clear up towards the halfway line. Ato's going to have a job to bring this back, so he heads it all the way back to his goalkeeper. And it's with Jorgensen now. Plays this ball inside to Colwell. And Chelsea just seem to be going through the motions at the moment. As Liverpool forced again back onto the back foot. Fernandez now inside to Palmer. Now into his own half for Fofana. And back across it goes to Enzo Fernandez. Inside again now to Fofana. And back to Fernandez. And again Fofana. Now to Colwell. Now to Hato. Down the left hand side, Cucurella gets there just ahead of Curtis Jones, but he's tripped and a free kick's been given. And it's just inside of Chelsea's half, out on that left hand side. And it is Chelsea still in the ascendancy as Cucurella makes his way further forward. I tell you that moving into that back four for Chelsea seems to have been a great tactical decision by Callum McFarlane. Now it's with Fofana. Across the middle to Colwell. Now Santos back to Colwell. And out to Fofana. Down the right hand side for Palmer. Into his own half now with Fofana. And Colwell. Now Caicedo. Turns on the ball and gets away. Chips down the left-hand side. And here goes Enzo Fernandez into the area. Sends it goalward. Saved by Mohamed Ashbili. Jones gets the ball away to Gakpo and back out to the right-hand side. And Jones is impeded by the referee, who's blown his whistle and gives the ball back to Liverpool on the right-hand side of the edge of the area. But as Jones went back to the return pass, just ran into the referee. But again, there's those gaps opening up in that Liverpool defence. It needs to be tighter at the back. This time the gap between Konate and Jones allowed Enzo Fernandez to get through. It was a good save by Mohamed Ashbili, but at the same time, all he had to do was stay strong at that point. The ball across the middle, it's really a case of, can the goalkeeper commit? No. Can the defenders get goal side? It's the first rule of defending, it's you stay goal side. And they've played this time for the whistle and not got it. And that's why we're back at a stalemate as Konate passes this into the middle for Gravenberch. Back to Konate. And now to Jones. Now Konate has a bit more time to turn back on the ball and has to go back to Curtis Jones anyway. He's under pressure by Cucurella by his own corner flag. Tries to get the ball away, but Cucurella wins it back for Chelsea. Liverpool on the back foot on a constant pressure now. Across the middle to Palmer. Out to the right-hand side. You've got Gusto making a run, but Palmer collects possession anyway onto his left foot. Now to Santos. Now to Caicedo and back to Palmer. Into the gap there towards Pedro, who stops the ball from getting through to Cucurella. And Liverpool will come away with the ball. A good tackle comes in from Caicedo, then back to Palmer. Comes off the heel of Hato, and Frimpong wins it back for Liverpool. Back towards his own corner flag. His clearance is blocked, and out of play it will go for a Liverpool goal kick. But they are very much up against it at the moment, and you can hear the Anfield roar from the Kop end, just behind Mohamed Ashbili. Absolutely furious and determined to try and get more behind this Liverpool side. They've now conceded more goals from set pieces than they ever have in a Premier League season in the club's history. And it's now to Jones. And back to Frimpong and then back to Jones. And Liverpool just struggling at the moment to get the ball into Chelsea's half. Very similar to how they controlled possession in the opening half of the opening 20 minutes. Now from Van Dijk out to Kirkez. Now to Ungamoa. Brings this inside with Palmer under pressure. Loses out, but it goes back to Van Dijk, and he's got a safety net there in the Liverpool centre-back as Van Dijk gets this on the edge of the centre circle. Out to his right-hand side to Konate. And now Szoboszlai out to Jones. Jones down the line to Frimpong. Back inside to Jones. And now out to Gakpo. Gakpo's had to move himself out wide just to try and get himself into the game a little bit more. It's not a name we've really heard too much of in this first half. Frimpong just keeps it in play. Tries to dribble it through the middle, comes away with possession somehow, gives it to Gakpo, who beats his man back to Frimpong in the area. His cross is blocked. Cole wants a goal kick. The linesman's given it as a corner. And with referee support, it has been given as a goal kick. Levi Colwell. Looking at the replay. It should have been a goal kick as well. He's taken a spin off the underside of Frimpong's boot. And it is going to be a goal kick, so the right decision they got to in the end. And this time Jorgensen is going to send his players out from his own area before taking this goal kick into the final 5 minutes of regular time at the end of this first half. It's been entertainment from both of these sides. Both have had a half of the first half that they've been in control for. And away it goes by Jorgensen into Liverpool's half. Headed away by Gravenberch and back into Liverpool's half by Colwell. And that tries to head this down and Kirkes gets it on the edge of the area. Back heel to take this away from Palmer, and down the line it goes to Ungamoa. He's still under pressure from Gusto, who's not letting him out of his sight at the moment, but Ungamoa gets away from him. Now to the left-hand side, Fernandez then gets there, and it's won back by Fofana. Unfairly, says the referee, and it's a free kick on the left-hand side in Liverpool's favour. It's back with Van Dijk, and they need to start utilising that width a little bit more. It's how they controlled possession in the first half so far. McAllister out to Konate, and then to Curtis Jones down that right-hand side to Frimpong. Tackle made by Nato, and it's out of play for a throw-in now to Liverpool. That back three that Chelsea started with just allowed those wing positions to work better for Liverpool as it's thrown inside towards McAllister, but won back by Caicedo, and Pedro helps it all the way back to Jorgensen. Goes out to his right-hand side. It's Van Dijk that's had to chase this and brings it down well and turns on the ball on his left-hand side. A goal for either of these sides heading into the break would really change how the second half would shape out for the opposition. Now it's with Canate into the centre circle. Both sides desperate for 3 points and will therefore be pushing everything they've got to try and get something out of this game, just as they have done so far in this first half. As Frimpong down the right hand side, ball just too far ahead of him by Jones, out of play for a goal kick, but the right idea again. The chance was opening up for him. He rolls out of play and behind for a goal kick. Slot retakes his seat with a lot of frustration showing at the moment from the Liverpool bench with how things are going. A very relaxed and calm approach from Alan McFarlane and the Chelsea bench on the opposite side at the moment, as the goal kick will be taken by Jorgensen up towards the left hand side and out of play for a throw into Liverpool on the right hand side. Last minute of regular time, thrown back by Jones to Canate on the edge of his own area. There's Van Dijk to his left, and that's exactly where the pass has gone. Van Dijk back to his right hand side again for Canate. Now out to Jones. Jones back to Canate. Has to play it further down that right hand side to Frimpong, but Hato's equal to it and goes back to Jorgensen, who plays it back to Hato. Brings it back inside away from Gakpo. And opening up here for Chelsea as he finds a gap for Palmer, and out to the right hand side for Gusto. Kirkes drops across for him as Gusto plays it inside to Palmer. Under pressure now from Szoboszlai and from Ungamoa, and Palmer comes away with the ball. Cuts in from the right hand side, plays it across to Fernandez. Can't get the ball under control from his first touch, and Ungamoa gets the ball away from Andre Santos and out to the left hand side for Liverpool. Gusto makes up ground and it's back with Ungamoa now inside to McAllister and back to Kirkes as 2 minutes of added time has been given at the end of this first half. Mohamed Ashford plays this out to Van Dijk. Now to McAllister. Back to Van Dijk. Out to Canate on the right hand side. And now to Jones. And now Van Dijk. Towards the opposing half. To his left hand side he's got McAllister, and he takes a touch and brings possession down. Just slows things down for Liverpool slightly. And now Gakpo again. Back to Van Dijk. Up through the middle for Gravenberch, and the challenge comes in from Caicedo. When upfield it goes towards Pedro, who can't bring possession down, and it's back to Van Dijk. Now to Jones, out to the right hand side for Szoboszlai. The run's been made by Frimpong, but it's read well by Hato. Turns on the ball, does Caicedo. Out to Cucurella on the left hand side now for Chelsea. His pass is poor, but still at the same time Hato manages to get there first. He's challenged by Szoboszlai, still stays on his feet, but the free kick's been given to Chelsea by the touchline, and Szoboszlai throws his fist in frustration at the referee's decision. Not going to get himself in the book just yet, but the referee may well need to give him a final warning, as that's not the first time that Szoboszlai's frustration has been directed towards the referee. And across goes Jorgensen to take this from by the touchline. We've got around about 40 seconds left of the 2 minutes that's been given, so perhaps this will be the last chance for Chelsea to get a goal just before the break. And I think after going a goal down, it's really what they needed to get themselves back into this game. They switched back to a 4-2-3-1, and those fullbacks have really allowed Cucurella and Palmer to push further forward as it's headed away by Gravenberch and back into Liverpool's half by Colwill. Flipped on back to Gravenberch, and now it's for Gakpo out to the right hand side. Frimpong's going to give chase, but it's going to have to play for a throw into Chelsea on that left hand side. Hato will be the one to take this. He's just looking further down the line for supporting options. Has to go back further into his own half though with a throw to Colwill, and that will be the half-time whistle here at Anfield. It was a very strong start for Liverpool. That was a Gravenberch goal of the season contender that gave them the lead inside 10 minutes, but a free kick from Enzo Fernandez that somehow found its way through absolutely everybody into the far corner, drew things level with just over 5 minutes left of the first half. Welcome back to Anfield for live coverage of the Premier League game, the early kickoff between Liverpool and Chelsea. In the first half, both quarters were dominated by one side apiece as Liverpool took control of the game in the early stages, but the half finished with Chelsea in the ascendancy. No changes heading into the second half for either side, and Liverpool will get things underway for us. So as they do, we start with Mamardashvili, Jones, Konate, Van Dijk, Kirkes, Gravenberch, McAllister, Ungamoa, Soboslai, Frimpong and Gakpo. Whereas for Chelsea, it's Jorgensen, Gusto, Fofana, Colwell, Heto, Santos, Caicedo, Palmer, Fernandes, Cucurella and Pedro. So two very different team talks expected from the respective managers at the half. And Soboslai plays this out to his left-hand side now for Kirkes. Didn't really get much freedom to push forward in that first half. His passing side's intercepted by Gusto. Down the right-hand side for Pedro, just ahead of him. Van Dijk gets there first and wins it back for Liverpool. Now Gravenberch inside to Jones. As it goes now to Konate. Back out to his left-hand side again for Van Dijk. Now for Kirkes again. Now for Soboslai. And now at the halfway line again with Van Dijk. Into the centre circle it goes to Konate. And up to the right-hand side now for Jones. Goes over for Frimpong. Tries to beat Hato down that left-hand side. And he's brought down by Cucurella. And the free kick has been given to Liverpool. Knocked the ball past Hato down that right-hand side. And Hato, as he turned on the ball, it looks like Cucurella may well have tripped him. And just outside of the area, it is a Liverpool free kick. Well, two free kicks was given in dangerous positions inside of the first half. Soboslai with one of them. His effort was blocked, but from the result of the block, Liverpool went on and scored. And Chelsea, it was direct from the free kick that was finished by Enzo Fernandez that makes it Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. And it's Soboslai stood over this free kick again. It's Konate and Van Dijk are up from the back for the hosts, just in front of the Kop. Out to his right-hand side is Frimpong. Cucurella is on the edge of the area, as is the rest of the Chelsea line. Cross comes in, headed goalwards, just over by McAllister. Goal kick to Chelsea. And as it stands, this point means that Liverpool are in fourth place. They are 7 points ahead of Bournemouth, which means a defeat or a point for Bournemouth will not be enough to be able to grab them fourth place. Liverpool will then definitely be in a Champions League position, regardless, as long as Bournemouth do not get the win in the 3 o'clock kickoff against Fulham. For Chelsea, it leaves them in 9th place as it is at the moment. They'll be 3 points off 6th. And as it stands with Aston Villa in the Europa League, if Aston Villa win the Europa League final and finish in 5th place, 6th place will be given a Champions League position for next season. So there's a chance that Chelsea could still also be in the Champions League. But they need to get themselves a second goal to make things as difficult as possible, as nervy as possible for the sides ahead of them. And they've got a free kick now just inside of Liverpool's half. Just inside of the centre circle, across it goes to Caicedo. Finds a gap on the left-hand side for Cucurella into the area, across towards Pedro. It's saved by the keeper. It's fallen to Palmer, who's made no mistake. The flag stayed down, and Cole Palmer, within 5 minutes of this second half, has completed the turnaround for Chelsea. It's a ball through the middle again that Cucurella has exploited this Liverpool defence, as he did so for much of the first half. The ball's gone through the middle, and he's played it across to João Pedro. It's saved by Mamardashvili from his effort, but it's fallen straight to Cole Palmer. That's where you need the Liverpool defence. You need to be following your men, and Cole Palmer's found himself in space. He could have took a touch. He's finished it first time, but he could have taken a touch. Now we're going to have a VAR check as to whether he's in an offside position or not on both occasions, whether Cucurella is when the ball's originally played, or whether João Pedro is when Cucurella's played the ball across. So this may be chalked off just yet, but it's just another example as to how it's fallen to pieces at the back for Liverpool. We've got a VAR check going on by Tony Harrington, just having a look at the replay. It looks very close, and if they're going to go on shadows, Cucurella is definitely in an offside position. He's further along than Curtis Jones, but as it looks as he's lent, it looks very difficult to tell exactly. We're going to hear now from Craig Pawson. He's heard from Tony Harrington, and the decision is offside. So the offside has gone up against Cucurella. So João Pedro, when the ball was played across, was in an onside position, but when the initial pass to Cucurella was made, he was in an offside position. But throughout the course of this first half, Cucurella has found so much space down that left-hand side between both of Jones and Konate. He's made things very difficult for this Liverpool defence, and he almost made them pay the ultimate price there. If it wasn't for VAR intervention, Liverpool would be trailing at this point. And from the free kick, it's gone all the way upfield, and it's back with Philip Jorgensen again, and Chelsea will be able to regroup and go again, but they need to build again. They need to capitalise on the momentum that they've been building, as they did in the first half when they got the chances. It's out to Cucurella up against Frimpong this time. Frimpong's regrouped and got rid of the ball, but Cucurella again, everything down this left-hand side is falling in his favour. And why would you not keep on giving the ball out that left-hand side when it's working so well for them? Caicedo now to Palmer, tries to get his shot away, it falls to João Pedro. Palmer will try for a second time, but the tackle's made by Gravenberch. His clearance falls to Cody Gakpo, but the chance comes in from Santos. It's now with Caicedo, who's been knocked off his feet by McAllister, and it's a free kick now to Chelsea through the middle, around about 30 yards out. And the referee's just pointed directly at Alexis McAllister and told him that he needs to calm this down. Rash challenge after rash challenge. It's heated up this Chelsea side now. They seem to have the belief that they could very well go on and win this, but it's also knocked a little bit nerves into Liverpool at the moment as Enzo Fernandez gets this shot. Now to Hato on the edge of the area. Back to Fernandez. Options in the middle. Plays it through to Palmer. First touch gives possession away. Gravenberch inside now to Gakpo. A chance here for Liverpool to break. Finds Szoboszlai. Out to the left-hand side now. There's a chance for Ngamoa. Takes it to the edge of the area. Gakpo overlapping and Ngamoa finds it to Gakpo. Can't get his cross in. Out of play it goes for a goal kick. And I don't know if Gakpo was just trying to play the role of diversion, but Ngamoa just tried to feed the ball down that line and too much on it, too close to him as it went out of play for a goal kick. And it's played out by Jorgensen to his left-hand side, and Hato has left that to go, and it's out of play. He's not managed to get to the ball, and it's going to be a throw into Liverpool on the right-hand side. Szoboszlai throws it down for Jones, who's pass inside. He's taken a first touch by Gravenberch into the middle now for Frimpong to the 6-yard box, gets his shot away, but it's tame and it's into the arms of Jorgensen. And what a lively start this second half has brought us as Santos now gets the ball rolled out from his keeper. Back to Gusto, down the line to Palmer. He's tripped by Kirkes, wants a free kick and it's given. He's fallen onto the ball and picked the ball up, and that's when the referee's blown his whistle to give the free kick in Chelsea's favour. As we have got a moment here, just whilst Levi Colwell is walking with a bit of a limp. He spent a lot of time on the injury bench in the treatment room, and it's allowed a lot of playing time for Trevor Chalobah, and it might be him that's called upon once again. Levi Colwell hasn't had the greatest of starts to his Chelsea career, having spent a lot of time injured, but with a lot of potential. Will be gutted to have been one of the players that will more than likely miss out on a spot in the World Cup this year. Now with Ngamoa on that left-hand side. Gusto gets there. Then McAllister throws the challenge in, wants to throw in. The throw-in's been given in Chelsea's favour. But again, it's riled up and livened up this Liverpool crowd. And that could have been a very dangerous challenge from Alexis McAllister. He's gone diving in with a trailing right foot. And it looked like he was off the ground when he went in for the challenge, as the clearance away by Chelsea goes over the top of Pedro. Now to Konate. Now back to Jones. His pass is intercepted by Caicedo. Now to Fernandez, outside of the boot, down the left-hand side, finds Pedro. Got Cucurella running through the middle. Pedro plays it inside to Cucurella. Across comes McAllister again. Cucurella's gone into the challenge. It's going to be a corner, but there's a lot of requirement for Alexis McAllister defensively at the moment. He's sitting back and he's doing so much work. As there it was between Frimpong and Ngamoa that were just caught out. And the pass inside. Cucurella again finding himself in that gap. It's a great challenge from Alexis McAllister just to get there ahead of Cucurella. He had to follow the man back. That's his third involvement of quick challenges in the last minute and a half. As Chelsea have an in-swinging corner on its way from the left-hand side. And Enzo Fernandez is stood over this. And we've got Ngamoa being told to step away from the corners. It's played short by Fernandez to Palmer. Now to Gusto. Across the middle it goes to Caicedo and back to Gusto. And then to Palmer again on the edge of the area. Tries to beat Ngamoa. Takes it towards the corner flag and he's gone down. And the referee's given nothing for it as Emerel comes away down that right-hand side. Tries to beat Fernandez to the ball, then gets it past Gusto, and he's gone down, and now it's a free kick as the Chelsea bench are up in arms at it, and we'll see a yellow card given. In fact, we've seen a free kick given. I thought we were going to see a yellow card given at that point, but the referee's still hesitant to take the cards out of his pocket, and Craig Pawson just gives a free kick to Liverpool as Chelsea's bench is furious with the decision again. Reece James is even off the seats to start shouting towards his Chelsea teammates. He's another player that's back off the sidelines and will be hoping to get back into this Chelsea starting lineup to finish the season. Gusto currently the one keeping him out of the position. Now Jones out to McAllister. Now to Frimpong. Down the line it's blocked on that left hand side by Hato, and it's going to be a throw in again to Frimpong. Throws this back into his own half to Jones, making the run back into the right back position. Now to Gravenberch by the touchline in front of the technical area. Gravenberch goes back to Jones again, which is across the middle to Van Dijk. Now to Kirkhead. And back to Van Dijk. Now Mamardashvili. 6-yard box out to Kanate on the right. Kanate goes down the line into some space here. Curtis Jones has made the run and he's found himself in plenty of space. Kukure making up ground on the edge of the area. Turns back. Still with Jones currently. Plays it back to Gravenberch. Flicks this ball on. Laid off by Soboslai. Challenge comes in from Kirkes as it does by Caicedo. And away comes Caicedo on the right-hand side for Chelsea. Plays this ball to Palmer. Now to Fernandez. He's got João Pedro to the left. He needed the ball ahead of him and he's played it a few yards further behind. It slowed down the pace of this Chelsea counter-attack. Liverpool are back in numbers, and while Chelsea still have possession, that is a chance that may very well have gone begging for the visitors. As Fernandez plays this inside now to Santos. Back to Fernandez. Into his own half now to Colwell. And across to Fofana. Out to Gusto. Now to Palmer inside. Wants to open up the gap and back to Gusto. Now to Caicedo. Back again to Fofana. And then to Fernandez. Tackle comes in from Jones, then Soboslai. And Jones comes away with the ball and a chance here for Liverpool to launch a counter-attack. Out to his right-hand side, finds Frimpong on the edge of the area. Options in the middle, he's only got Gakpo currently. Takes it into the area himself. Brings it back to Soboslai. Crossing towards the back post. Back across the middle by Gakpo. And it's finished by Curtis Jones. Inside the 6-yard box, the flag's now gone up. We will undoubtedly have another VAR check to determine if Liverpool are going to have a goal chalked off themselves. It was over towards the back post by Soboslai. And we'll see if Gakpo was in an offside position when he won the header. Ooh, it's very close, but I think his left arm's playing him offside. Just because of where he stood. And back across the middle, Jones was definitely onside. It's whether Gakpo was offside, and the VAR check's quick, it's immediate, and it tells us the goal will be disallowed. So a goal disallowed each in the opening 15 minutes of this second half. Away it goes now by Colwell, headed down by Van Dijk, and out to play from Kirkes. Referee says it came off Gusto last, and we'll have a throw into Liverpool on the left-hand side. And it will, of course, be taken by Milos Kirkes. Throws it back to Virgil van Dijk, and across the middle now to Jones. And then inside it goes to Gravenberch. Soboslai lays this back off to Gravenberch, running through the middle. He's looking for the gap for Gakpo. It's not opening up for him. It's still with Gravenberch. Into the area for Frimpong. Brings this back. Liverpool call for handball. It's still with Gravenberch. Soboslai sends it goalwards. It's turned behind by Jorgensen. Liverpool are screaming at Craig Pawson for a handball as it's been brought back. At the moment, it's a Liverpool corner. And we may well hear from Tony Harrington. Just looking at if he's onside. There's definitely onside there from Frimpong as he's pulled it back. Has it come off the arm of Santos, who slid in, and has that diverted it away? It's definitely come off the arm, and his arm's touching the ground as he slid in. It's diverted it away at that point from the path of João Pedro. The corner is what's been given by Craig Pawson. The corner is what's going to happen. It's an outswinging corner by Alexis McAllister with Van Dijk and Kanate in the area. Plays it short now to Curtis Jones. Turns back on the ball now to Soboslai. Jones running inside into a more central position. Lines up for him. Tries to feed it through to Gravenberch, but it's read well by Colwell. And a chance now for Chelsea to break away. It's down the left-hand side for Palmer to chase. Out comes the goalkeeper, Mamardashvili, first-time clearance. Puts the pressure back on Chelsea. It's going to go out to play for a goal kick to Chelsea. And we'll reset again. But again, another moment where Liverpool could well have been on the back foot from a Good goal scoring opportunity. It's a good save by Jorgensen to turn the ball behind. And we'll have a Chelsea goal kick that will be taken by Levi Colwill. And the referee's whistle. He's got Jorgensen alongside him, plays it across to him, and back it goes again to Colwill, just on the edge of the 6-yard box. Left-footed clearance upfield from him goes out of play just in front of Callum McFarlane, and it will be a throw into Liverpool on that right-hand side as the Frimpong that drops back into his own half to take this. And throws it further back into his own half to Ibrahima Konate, and across to Van Dijk it goes. And down the line for Szoboszlai. And now McAllister. And now to Jones. Jones outside of the centre circle, and now McAllister, and back to Van Dijk. And then McAllister again. Now Van Dijk across to Jones. Jones now to Konate. Konate back to Jones. Through the middle to McAllister, out to his left-hand side for Van Dijk. Van Dijk further over to Kirkhead. Inside of Chelsea's half now, tries to find that gap for Gakpo. And it's gone all the way through to Jorgensen. It has been the theme throughout this game so far. Cody Gakpo has really struggled to get into this game. But we have got a change on the way for Chelsea. Jorgensen nearly loses control of the ball with Szoboszlai there, but gets the ball away up towards the halfway line, and it's controlled by Pedro. Challenge comes in from Kirkes, plays it back to Van Dijk. Reece James is kitted up and ready to come back into the game. For the first time in a fair few months since being injured, it's out to Frimpong. Frimpong up against Fofana, takes this down the right-hand side, gets across in, it's evaded everybody. Now with Ngamoa, still inside the area, brings it back to Gravenberch. And now to Kirkes on the edge of the area on the left-hand side. Tries to get past Palmer. Palmer gets in the way and goes down. It's a free kick to Chelsea on the edge of the area. And again, I think Palmer's gone down a bit too easily. But we'll see the change now for Chelsea. And it will be Reece James coming on. And he's going to come on in place of Andre Santos in the midfield area. Partly expected, perhaps, Levi Colwill to be leaving the field. And Hato maybe dropping into a centre-back position after struggling just a few moments ago, but it goes to show that Colwill is absolutely fine to carry on. And Santos will be the one that leaves the game. So a round of applause from the travelling Chelsea supporters made their way to Merseyside from London. On their way off the field to an even bigger round of applause, we see Reece James coming on as he's receiving some instructions from Cucurella. And Andre Santos gives the armband to Reece James. It was previously with Enzo Fernandez. So James on, Santos off is the change. And James makes his way all the way across into a centre midfield position. How long that will last before perhaps moving out onto the right hand side in place of Gusto, I'm not quite sure, but for now he's playing in the middle of the park. And Jorgensen will get this free kick away just on the edge of the area from the challenge on Palmer, if you remember. And flicked on by Pedro and headed away by Konate. As far as James, who gets his first touch, returning back from injury, out to the right-hand side for Gusto, and then back to James again. And now to Fofana, inside to Caicedo, who's knocked down, and the free kick's been given in Chelsea's favour as Gravenberch won the ball back. Unfairly, says the referee. Nudging the back there, and it'll be a free kick now just inside of Chelsea's half. Caicedo was the one preparing to take this. And instead, it's going to be Fofana to do so, and he goes across to Colwill. Colwill now to Caicedo inside the centre circle. Now to his right-hand side for Fofana, into the gap to Palmer, who's going to turn and chase the ball down. It's outside of the area for Mamardashvili. He's come out for the ball. Palmer's won it back. Mamardashvili's challenge goes in there. It's a throw into Chelsea on that right-hand side, taken quickly. It's with Reece James. His cross was blocked by McAllister. Balls back to Fofana at the halfway line. He gets the ball away from Szoboszlai. A nudge in the back there on Reece James. Chelsea wants a free kick. It's not been given. A throw-in was given, but now a free kick's been given in Chelsea's favour. The referee wasn't given it to begin with. As the ball went out of play, there was no advantage for the visitors, and that's where the free kick's been given. Well, Liverpool's response to Reece James coming on will be that in a few moments' time we'll see Alexander Isak coming on. He was a doubt for this game through injury. He's managed to make it onto the bench, and he's going to get at least 25 minutes in this game. And now it's with Fernandez. Back into his own half, he goes all the way back to Jorgensen. And now out to Gusto, and James goes back to Jorgensen again, just inside of the area. Now Colwell. Colwell through the middle, and then back again. Now to Caicedo, out to his right-hand side. James further right to Cole Palmer. Palmer inside to Caicedo, inside the centre circle, turns back on the ball and to his left-hand side. Gets this back to Colwell. And now to James. Chipped over down the left-hand side. Finds Cucurella in some space once again. Into the area Cucurella goes. Can't get the cross in first time. Jones gets back in time. And now the flag goes up against Cucurella. And it'll be a free kick to Liverpool. We're offside again. And this time... Oh, I don't think he's offside. I think Milos Kerkez is keeping Cucurella onside this time around. So I think Liverpool have got away with one this time. But that gap is still there. It's still opening up. There's still chances there for Chelsea and for Cucurella on that left-hand side. Well, now we'll see the change that is being made by Liverpool, and it will be one that means Cody Gakpo will move out to the left-hand side as Rio Ngamoa comes off the field. And Alexander Isak will come on in his place, and it's been a great shift from Ngamoa. Isak playing through the middle, Gakpo out to the left-hand side. He's what I fully expect Liverpool to go with now. He's not really got himself into this second half, but Gakpo's also struggled throughout the game. And now it's with Van Dijk. Now to McAllister. Back to the goalkeeper in Mamardashvili on the penalty spot. Out to his right-hand side now for Konate. Konate through the middle for Gravenberch. Takes a touch and takes it to his right-hand side. Frimpong's making the run down that right-hand side, and he's got the run on Hato. He makes up the pace and gets past him, and it's still with Frimpong, who's pulled down on the edge of the area by Gerald Hato, and now we'll see the first yellow card. Frimpong had him beat, not once, but twice in that sequence of play. And the free kick's been given to Liverpool again in a dangerous position just outside of the area. The linesman didn't hesitate. The referee went with his linesman support. And Craig Pawson's given the free kick, and Gerald Hato's got a yellow card. As up from the back come Van Dijk and Konate again for this set piece. It's not quite in the vicinity of a corner, but a little bit further out. Fully expected to be a cross in from Dominic Szoboszlai. And where the wall is based, it's about a yard further outfield than the edge of the area, but it's about 6-7 yards to the right hand side. But where the wall is based and placed at the moment for Chelsea is where they've got the entire line, the defensive line inside the area. So quite a high line considering where this free kick's from for Dominic Szoboszlai. On the edges Gravenberch and Kirkite. It's everybody back for Chelsea currently. Cross comes in towards the back post, it's over everybody. And it will go out of play for a throw-in right beside the corner flag for Chelsea. And that was quite a high cross from Szoboszlai, that even the aerial threats that Liverpool do have upfield was a bit too much for him. And it will be Gusto to take this throw-in. Gains a few yards making the run down that right-hand side. Gives it to James, who's immediately lost out to Gakpo. Pass inside to Szoboszlai. And it's been given as a throw-in to Chelsea as the challenge came in from Fofana. And Gusto down that right-hand side. Kirkes gets there, passes it inside to Palmer, and away the ball goes out of play for a throw-in. And Jones throws this back into his own half to Van Dijk. Into the middle now for Gravenberch. Takes his first touch to take this away. Challenge comes in from Caicedo. Then Pedro gets there. And he's battling at the moment with Jones, who takes this to his left-hand side. Pedro's still there and puts the challenge in. And it's going to be a free kick to Liverpool, as Curtis Jones has not taken too kindly to that challenge from João Pedro. There's been a few choice words between the two players as the referee quickly steps in to put things to a stop. The pass goes across to Konate. And then all the way back to Mamardashvili. On his left foot gets the ball away. Head away by Fofana, brought down by Jones. Out to the left-hand side now for Kirkes. Options in the middle for him. Isak on the edge of the area. McAllister making a run through the middle, wanted the ball sooner. Now to Gravenberg. Still with Kirkes making that run down the left-hand side. Instead goes inside to Jones. Chip through the middle towards Isak. Cleared away again by Fofana. Gravenberg gets there first and heads it down for Frimpong on the right-hand side. Challenge comes in from Kukurea. And out of play it goes. And it's getting a bit heated now between Kukurea and Frimpong on that side. So it's starting to heat up between these two sides. Can't we tell we're heading towards the final stages of a Premier League season. Time is running out for both of these sides. We're heading into the final 20 minutes of regular time at this game. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. Out to the left-hand side now to Gakpo. Brings it to Szoboszlai. Sent goalwards off the post. Can it be kept in play? Kirkes can't do so. It's going to be a throw into Chelsea on that right-hand side. But Szoboszlai got it and brought it inside onto his right foot. Sent it towards the near post there of Jorgensen. I think he had that covered anyway. But it's hit the post and gone away. It'll be thrown on the right-hand side, down by Gusto. Cleared away by Caicedo. He switches this across to the left-hand side. Kukurea is chasing Frimpong. Frimpong feels he was tripped there by Kukurea. A free kick has been given to Liverpool as well. And the water bottle has been thrown down by Callum McFarlane. He is absolutely furious on that touchline. I'm just looking at the replay. There's no free kick there. There's no foul there at all. Frimpong's bought one there from the referee. And Kukurea can't believe that the free kick's been given. And Callum McFarlane is just having a word with the fourth official because he too thinks it's a wrong decision by the referee. And I have to agree, this time it was Kukurea was in the right. And now it's with Jones. Plays this across to Virgil van Dijk. And that was a chance for Chelsea as well, with Liverpool outnumbered at the back. It's a chance that's gone missing. Now with Kukurea chasing back. Van Dijk plays this out to the left-hand side for Kirkes. His cross comes all the way through to Frimpong. It just gets away from Hato, and it's still with Frimpong on the right. Dribbles this inside to the edge of the area now to Gravenberg and to McAllister. I can confirm that McFarlane received the yellow card for his outburst after the free kick was given against Kukurea. Now to Frimpong and now to Gravenberg. Back out to Frimpong. Inside to Jones and then Gravenberg again. Back to Jones on the edge of the area. Onto his left foot. Cross comes in towards the middle and out comes Jorgensen to catch the ball. Just on the edge of the 6-yard box. And just looking for options either side as he slows things down for Chelsea. Gets it out to Enzo Fernandez, who can't control the ball, and Curtis Jones wins it back in Chelsea's half. Jones onto the inside. Fernandez is furious that a free kick's been given, but I'm really concerned how he can think that he can challenge that. He's going to receive a yellow card, and rightly so, as Ibrahima Konate makes his opinion known. Jones has just brought that inside. Fernandez is stretched out for the ball, completely missed the ball, and swiped away at the legs of Curtis Jones, and he's somehow protesting that's not a yellow card. I think Craig Pawson has got that one right, and he needed to give some yellow cards out because things were starting to get a bit heated between these two sides. In saying that, they still are. And Fernandez drops back with a free kick in a dangerous position now for Liverpool, and again Szoboszlai will stand over this. The defenders up from the back. Kirkes the only player back at the halfway line for Liverpool. Everybody back again for Chelsea. Well, the referee's blown his whistle, ready for this free kick to be taken as Cole Palmer stood his yards. Cross comes in from Szoboszlai towards the middle, headed goalwards and over. Liverpool want a corner, Chelsea want a goal kick. And I think it is going to be a corner as it's headed behind by Wesley Fofana, who leapt highest. Jorgensen had to be stretched out to try and turn the ball over, but it didn't have enough dip on it. And it'll be an outswinging corner on the right-hand side now for Liverpool and for Dominic Szoboszlai. Players have stayed forward again. Cody Gakpo just adds to the aerial threat in there. Isak does also. All around the penalty spot currently. Outswinging corner on its way by Szoboszlai in towards the middle, headed away by Fofana. Jones plays it back to Frimpong. And back across to Jones. Out to the right-hand side for Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai onto his left foot. His cross is blocked by Kukurea. It falls back to Frimpong. Now to Jones. Jones into his own half, across to Frimpong. Challenge comes in from Sao Pedro, and then Jones plays it back to his goalkeeper, and Mohamed Ashley gets the ball away upfield. Headed away by Fernandez, now to Caicedo. Into the gap there for Palmer, and a chance for Chelsea to counter-attack here. Out to the right-hand side for Gusto, slows it down slightly, but there's still Chelsea in the ascendancy, and now in Liverpool's half, plays it back to James, now to Palmer. Palmer has to turn on the ball at the halfway line, finds a gap here for Atto on the left-hand side. Further over gets Cucurella by the touchline on the edge of the area. Goes back to the halfway line again to Colwell. And now to Caicedo. Chip through the middle towards Cucurella, but it's all the way through to Mamedashvili, who holds onto the ball comfortably. He was quite grateful to do so after the amount of times that Chelsea have broken that Liverpool defensive back line, as Palmer goes in towards Van Dijk, and it's fallen to Kirkes, who dribbles this inside of Gusto and goes down. It will be a free kick to Liverpool on the edge of the area. And Kirkes straight away back to his feet. Last 15 minutes here for either of these sides to try and get something. It's a point that actually works well for all the sides around them, as it's down the line to Isak, lays this ball off for Frimpong, but it's intercepted now by Hato, and Chelsea pushing forward through the middle for Pedro, holds this ball up, still has Cucurella to his left hand side and options through the middle. It's with Pedro on the edge of the area, he's taking it into the area, still with Chao. Pedro sends it goalwards just wide. It's going to be a goal kick now for Liverpool, and he's not quite sure how he managed to maintain possession for as long as he did, because the gaps were just cut out that he couldn't make those passes, and he was closed down by Konate as he tried to play the ball through the middle. It just ricocheted back up the shin of Konate and back into his favour, into the area, and he just couldn't get the shot away until it was too late, and he was off balance when doing so. Tried to replicate the goal that was scored by Ryan Gravenberch. He was off balance when getting his shot away, and out of play it's gone for the goal kick to Liverpool with Mamedashvili, and we'll see two more changes for Liverpool now. Federico Chiesa is coming on, and he's going to come on for Cody Gakpo, and Konate is also going to make way. Well, Gakpo doesn't look too happy at the fact that he's been substituted, but he's also not really been able to get into this game too much. I don't think that's necessarily at fault of his own, that's just how well Chelsea have been defensively, because Isak hasn't really had too much of a chance either. But Chiesa comes on in place of Gakpo, and Joe Gomez will come on in place of Konate. So Gomez will go alongside Van Dijk at centre-back, and Chiesa will come on that left-hand side, where Gakpo will leave the field. Mamedashvili will take this goal kick from the centre of the 6-yard box, with Van Dijk to his left and Gomez to his right. He plays this out to Gomez. His first pass down the right-hand side gets to Frimpong, but Atto wins it back and plays it inside to Fernandez. Now to Caicedo. Across the middle to Fofana. And now out to Gusto. Inside to James, but won back by Szoboszlai. Now to McAllister. Now Gravenberch to Isak. He's got the overlapping run here by Frimpong. He gets it inside the area. Cross comes into the middle, but it's caught by Jorgensen. Out to his left-hand side immediately for Cucurella, who tries to launch a counter-attack for Chelsea using the left-hand side. Goes inside now with a pass to Caicedo. He loses out to Isak, who wins it back for Liverpool on the edge of the area. Still with Isak currently. Tries to beat his man. Out to the right-hand side. Frimpong keeps it in play. Cucurella comes in for the challenge. Liverpool want a corner. Cucurella feels that at that point Frimpong was offside. It's a corner to Liverpool on that right-hand side. When the ball's come off of Isak, making that run down the right, was Frimpong in an onside position? He looked like he'd ventured offside to me, but the flag stayed down, and we've got a corner now for Liverpool, and it's Gomez and Virgil van Dijk coming up from the back. Kirkes is in there around the 6-yard box as well. Everybody back for Chelsea. And Gravenberch lurking on the edge of the area for Liverpool, and Frimpong at the halfway line. Out-swinging corner on its way by Dominik Szoboszlai. Goes in towards the middle. We've had a fall, and it's hit off the crossbar and out of play for a goal kick. Virgil van Dijk feels that he was brought down. Liverpool are wanting a penalty, and I'm not quite sure what Craig Pawson's going to do at this point. We've got a Liverpool player down inside of the area. When the cross came in, McAllister's been knocked down by Gusto. And then Virgil van Dijk, who feels that he was being held on to by Caicedo, still won the header and hit the crossbar. Gomez has been brought down by Enzo Fernandez. I'm not quite sure where the penalty would stand in this situation, as Van Dijk and Caicedo are just tussling with each other. They've both got hold of each other's shirts, as Van Dijk's furious with it. I think there's a catch on the ankle there of McAllister when the corner's initially taken, and that's why McAllister's gone down. He seems to be okay at the moment. The referee's decision was a goal kick, but Van Dijk feels that his shirt was being pulled. And Enzo Fernandez just trying to calm Virgil van Dijk down. And Craig Pawson stands by his decision of giving a goal kick. And with so much that was going on inside of the area when that corner came in, I'm not sure where the referee's eyes were expected to be. And he feels like the header was won fairly by Virgil van Dijk. And if it hit the crossbar, the goal kick to Chelsea is the correct outcome for it. And Jorgensen will take this goal kick from the left-hand side of the 6-yard box. Sends it to his left-hand side. Towards João Pedro, headed away by Gomez, and out of play for a throw-in to Chelsea, which Arne Slot was feeling should have gone in Liverpool's favour. As Hato throws this back now to Colwill on the edge of the area, plays it all the way back to Jorgensen. Into his right foot and away it goes, headed away by Gomez, brought down by Caicedo. Into the middle for Palmer, out to the right-hand side for Gusto. Gusto into his own half now to Fofana. Now to James. Out to Colwill. Down the left-hand side for Hato. Into the gap there for Enzo Fernandez. Flicks it on for Pedro, but João Pedro is not making that run. And it goes all the way through. And it's rolled out to Gomez. Ball over the top, one back by Cucurella. Plays it inside to James. Now to Colwill. Colwill across to Hato and then through the middle. Caicedo lays this ball off for James. Loses out on possession and it's with Chiesa. Lines up a shot, can't get it away. Wants a free kick from the challenge from James. Nothing given. Chelsea come away with the ball now. Caicedo out to Palmer. He's got Gusto on his right-hand side. Palmer still with the ball. Finds Gusto down that right-hand side. Up against Kirkes. Challenge comes in from Kirkes. That's come then off the shin of Gusto and out of play. It'll be a goal kick to Liverpool. I don't think Mohamed Ashley wanted to take any chances as he threw himself down. That's a great challenge from Milos Kirkes to knock the ball onto the toe of Gusto and out of play. He's won his side a goal kick at that point. Played out short now to Jones, but we've also got Liam Delap warming up for Chelsea currently as Van Dijk plays this out to Kirkes, lets it run across his body, down the line to Chiesa, brings it inside, he's brought down and a free kick's been given to Liverpool just inside their own half on that left-hand side. And Kirkes steps away from the ball as Alexis McAllister comes across to take it. I imagine Liam Delap would be coming on for João Pedro. It would be a like-for-like change that would prove a very different option in that final third. Now to Gomez. Inside to Jones, into centre circle. Jones out to his right-hand side for Gomez. Frimpong holds his run, he's still the option by the touchline. That's where Frimpong gets the ball. Inside now to Gravenberch, goes back towards Frimpong, who's brought down, and so's Isak, and now it's a free kick to Liverpool in a bit more of a dangerous position. And now the referee's brought out the yellow card and gives it to Marc Cucurella. Frimpong's passed down the line and Cucurella's just grabbed hold of him and brought him down, but the pass back went towards Isak, who's brought down by Colwill. The referee's given the free kick by the touchline on the right-hand side, and the yellow card's gone to Marc Cucurella for his efforts also. And Szoboszlai by the touchline will be stood over this free kick. Just under 6 minutes left of regular time, plus any added time that's been given. Plays up again for Liverpool. Szoboszlai's cross comes in towards the middle, controlled by Reece James, calls for a handball again from Liverpool as James gets the ball away downfield, headed down by Kirkes. It's with Szoboszlai. Now to Jones, back to Gravenberch, and now out to Kirkes. Gravenberch takes the ball off of him and plays it out now to Chiesa on the edge of the area. So with options in the middle, Chiesa tries to get the cross in, he's up against Gusto currently. The tackle's made its turn behind. Gusto's wanting a goal kick. And the referee, I believe, has given a corner and not a penalty on this occasion, despite Liverpool claims for a handball against Reece James. It's going to be an in-swinging corner from the left-hand side from Dominik Szoboszlai. Everyone's in and around the 6-yard box currently. On the edge of the area, we do have the odd Liverpool player, but Kirkes, Van Dijk, all around Jorgensen currently to make things difficult for this keeper. So on the near post as the referee steps in and tells Enzo Fernandez And he's now going to have a word with Joe Gomez and Moises Caicedo. And Caicedo's gone down, and the referee's had to walk back into the 6-yard box. He's having a word now with Joe Gomez again. As Caicedo's helped back to his feet by 2 of his teammates, and there's a lot going on inside that 6-yard box. This could be a free kick to Chelsea or a penalty to Liverpool, and you can take your pick at this point what's happening. Everyone's surrounding Jorgensen. I think we know where this corner is directed by Szoboszlai. As Reece James has now gone down into the middle, it comes. It's gone all the way through. Isak keeps it in play back into the middle. Jorgensen catches this, takes it to the edge of his area, looks either side, chooses to hold on to the ball for now instead of unleashing a counter-attack for Chelsea. Much to his teammates' disappointment. He's managed to keep hold of the ball despite everything that was going on inside of that 6-yard box just moments ago. Now Caicedo still in possession. To his right-hand side to Fofana. Down the line for Gusto. Gusto back to Fofana on the edge of his own area. Brings Jorgensen back into the game. And now Colwill onto his left foot up towards the edge of the area, into the channel down the left-hand side. It will take a bounce and out of play for a throw into Liverpool. And Curtis Jones will be the one to take. Goes it all the way back now to Gomez. Gomez goes across to Mahmoud-Ashvili on the edge of the 6-yard box. And his left-footed clearance goes upfield. Headed away by Fofana. Brought down by James. Inside to Caicedo on the edge of the centre circle. To his left-hand side now to Hato. Into his own half to James. And then back to Colwill. And then Fofana. And then James. Into the middle now to Hato again. Upfield to João Pedro. Holds up possession. Looks to his left-hand side. And a free kick was waved away by the referees. Given advantage. So João Pedro will continue. And he gives it to Palmer. Gets the overlapping run there for Gusto on the edge of the area. Cross comes in away by Van Dijk. Readjusted his positioning well. It's going to be a throw into Chelsea on the right-hand side. Still no Liam Delap just yet. He's kitted up on the bench ready, but he's not yet been brought on. So maybe a change of heart there from Callum McFarlane. Now with Gusto. Back to the halfway line. Inside to Colwill. Push now to Hato. And now Colwill on the edge of the centre circle. And out to the right-hand side to Fofana. And inside to Hato. And now James. James turns to his left-hand side and comes away with the ball. Finds the gap inside there for Enzo Fernandez, who's brought down by Gomez. And it will be a free kick to Chelsea inside of Liverpool's half. Cucurella wants to take this quickly, but Gomez has picked the ball up to make things difficult. And now Joe Gomez will receive a yellow card for delaying the restart to play. And it's Reece James stood over this free kick from just inside of Liverpool's half. He'll now step away. And stood over it is Joel Hato. Out to Pedro. And back into his own half again. Through the middle for James. Lays this ball off for Caicedo, who's got some space. Back to Reece James. Inside now for Palmer. Finds some space for Gusto. It's just behind him, but he's still inside the area. Back again to Reece James. Now to Cole Palmer. Back to Gusto. By the touchline on the right. Kirkes closes him down. Gusto goes back towards his own half. And now to Fofana. Now to Hato. Out to his left-hand side for Cucurella. Now to Pedro. Takes this towards the dugout. Gets away from Gravenberch. Still with Pedro currently. Inside onto his right foot. He's got options either side for him. Takes it into the area. Maybe there's a bit too much. Goes into the challenge there with Frimpong. Liverpool wants a free kick. Pedro brings it back. Szoboszlai comes away with the ball. Chips this down that right-hand side towards Chiesa. Liverpool want a handball. The referee's waved it away. Hato plays it across the middle. And now the referee gives a free kick for handball. And it's a free kick to Liverpool. And he just had a moment to try and catch up with play. But as Joe Pedro's gone into the area, I'm surprised Liverpool didn't get a free kick earlier on, because when Frimpong went into the ball, it's come off the hand of João Pedro to slow things down. But we're going to have a VAR check to determine whether this is a foul from Jeremy Frimpong inside of the area on João Pedro. Now Pedro gets there ahead of him by wrapping his leg around and getting a touch to the ball. But as Frimpong brought Pedro down inside of the area, the on-field decision was no penalty by Craig Pawson. But at the moment, Tony Harrington is having a look through things to determine whether he feels that this should be a penalty. Now Pedro's tried to get the ball ahead of him. See, Both players have got their legs like intertwined with each other, so it's very difficult to say whether that is a foul from Jeremy Frimpong. Well, Caicedo's received a yellow card for his outburst, and João Pedro isn't going to get a penalty, which is what he wanted. And Liverpool wanted a handball, but we're going to get a free kick for Liverpool anyway from the edge of the area. And it's taken out left to Kirkes. Challenge comes in from Palmer, but it still remains with Kirkes. Now to McAllister. All that time, we're into the last minute of regular time here, and nobody's really paying attention to the clock because this game's just become so heated. It's just going from one moment to the next. Back to Mohamed Ashbili. Out to Van Dijk. 7 minutes of added time has been given. Now to Gomez. Gomez down the right-hand side. Tackles made there by Fofana. Now to Cucurella. Looks for the gap for Pedro, but way too much on the ball as it goes all the way through to Mohamed Ashbili, who holds onto the ball and rolls this out now to Van Dijk. And Pedro says exactly where he wanted the ball and how he wanted it as he broke the offside trap. McAllister now on the edge of the area. Out to his right-hand side for Jones. Can take this up towards the halfway line. Pass inside to Gravenberg. Turns on the ball. He's got Cucurella alongside him. Chips it into the gap there for Curtis Jones. Takes this into the area. Chance here for Liverpool. Brings it back. Nobody's on the edge of the area. Palmer comfortably gets the ball away, and it's now with Caicedo. And a chance for Chelsea to get the ball up into Liverpool's half. Caicedo plays it out to the left-hand side for Cucurella. Into the opposition half now for Fernandes. Fernandes up against Frimpong, onto the edge of the area, onto his right foot, plays it across the middle to Palmer, just ahead of him. He'll be the one that gets to the ball on the edge of the area on the right-hand side now. Plays it back to Gusto. Can he get across into the box? Finds a gap here for Caicedo, who's in the area. Drags it across the middle. It's taken a deflection into the arms of Mohamed Ashbili inside the 6-yard box. And he waits for time. He waits for the gaps to open up for him instead of rolling this out. But one has become available now for Frimpong. Out on the right-hand side for Liverpool. He doesn't have too many midfield options. They've just burst all their energy on trying to get back to help out. As away it goes by Gomez down the line. First touch comes here from Colwell all the way through to Jorgensen. Was he outside of the area there? He's caught the ball. Isak feels it was a pass back. Looked to me like his feet was outside of the area. I'm not too sure about the ball, but it's played out now by Fofana to Palmer. Up towards the halfway line. The announcement of the 7 minutes added time has really put a change to the course of this game and to the momentum that Chelsea have. As now it's with Colwell through the middle. They know how desperate 3 points is for them. A point might well be enough for Liverpool. It's certainly not going to be enough for Chelsea. They're going to be heavily reliant on results elsewhere if they're going to break into the top 6. Now with Palmer on the edge of the area. Still has James to his right-hand side. Flag stays down for now. On the edge of the area. Cross comes in. Caught by Mohamed Ashbili. Takes it to the edge of the area. Wants a quick outlet. Doesn't have one. Has to hold things down for a moment. Is Chelsea able to regroup? And now he rolls this out to Federico Chiesa. Into the gap through the middle. Now to the right-hand side for Frimpong. Back it goes again to Jones. On the edge of the area. Takes this back towards the edge of his own area. Even further so. Now to Joe Gomez. Down that right-hand side. Gets away from João Pedro. Now opens up the gap for Frimpong. Frimpong down that right-hand side. Cucurella is trying to get there. His pass inside's gone all the way through to Gusto. And Chelsea again come away with the ball. Chiesa closing him down. Now for Fofana. Clearance out to the right-hand side. Palmer's going to have a job to get there ahead of Kirkes. And he might just have done so. But Kirkes is trying to get the ball back. Gets the pass off to Van Dijk. Across the middle now for Gomez. Inside of the centre circle in his own half. Gomez to his left-hand side now for Kirkes. Takes this into Chelsea's half. Back to Van Dijk. Onto his right foot. Across the middle now for Curtis Jones. Just outside the edge of the centre circle. To his right-hand side for Frimpong. Frimpong closed down by Hato. Brings it back now to Jones. Plays this into Isak inside the area. Onto his right foot. Takes it to the byline. Brings it back and it's away by Fofana. To the edge of the area. Headed away by Hato. He gets there ahead of Frimpong for the second time. Plays it inside to Fernandes. Now to Caicedo. Chelsea still with a chance to break away. Now to Pedro as Liverpool get back, and the challenge from McAllister brings Pedro down by the touchline. It'll be a free kick to Chelsea and a yellow card to Alexis McAllister for that challenge, as we are over halfway through the added time that has been allocated in this game. Liverpool 1, Chelsea 1. And we'll just have a moment where Liverpool will regroup and Chelsea will take this from by the touchline, because it has been all action for the last, well, you could quite clearly say the last 45 as Marc Cucurella is confirmed as the player of the match, and I think that is very well deserved for his performance in this game so far, as Levi Colwell will stand over this free kick now as Chelsea put everybody else into Liverpool's half, desperate for 3 points out of this game. Ball forward by Colwell, headed away by Gomez. Up goes the header of Reece James, brings it down for Enzo Fernandez on the edge of the area, takes it to his left-hand side, still on the edge. He's surrounded by Liverpool players currently. Challenge comes in from Cucurella, who gets there ahead of McAllister. Wants a throw in for Chelsea. It's been given in Liverpool's favour, and Frimpong prepares to take this quickly, but Liverpool a bit more comfortable with this point than Chelsea are. Gomez will come across to take this throw in. Down the line it goes. Headed away by Colwell, flicked on by James, cleared away by Gravenberg, deflected off of Palmer. Now Kirkes, right-footed clearance over the top of everyone, just ahead of Chiesa, but Colwell gets there with an outstretched acrobatic left-footed clearance, and it's kept in play by James. Now forward to Pedro. Tries to bring this ball down alongside Gomez, but a free kick's been given in Chelsea's favour for a challenge on Enzo Fernandez just before that. 95 gone, 2 left to go. Now out to Pedro on the left-hand side. And the referee's pulled it back and said they've got to take this again. And that change of Liam Delap, who has been told to put a bib back on and sit back down, will not be coming on. So something must have changed in this Chelsea side that Callum McFarlane liked the sight of, that chose to only make one change in this game, but now it's with Fernandez. Back heel to Pedro, still on the edge of the area. Now down the line of the left-hand side for Reece James. Up against Frimpong. Cross comes in from James towards the back post, outstretched on by Mohamed Asfali. Launches a counter-attack, but he's just thrown possession away to Fofana. And Chelsea win it back immediately. Tried to get the ball out there to Chiesa. It goes back to Jorgensen, who gets the ball away. Gusto's down in the 6-yard box in Liverpool's area. And now Fofana wins the header. It's back into Liverpool's half. And away by Van Dijk, who's gone down. It's brought down by Chiesa. And now the referee pulls a stop to things as Liverpool were breaking away on the left-hand side. So boos from the Liverpool supporters. As a free kick's been given to Liverpool inside of their own half for the challenge on Van Dijk. But Chiesa is away on the left-hand side, and perhaps that's what's caused the frustration from Liverpool players. Played out now by Szoboszlai to the left-hand side for Kirkes. Still a potential chance here for Liverpool as Kirkes on the touchline, brings it in past Palmer. Gets the ball back from Szoboszlai. Gusto gets there ahead of him by the corner flag. And brings it back to Palmer. Palmer tripped by Chiesa by the corner flag, and a free kick's been given to Chelsea. As we have 5 seconds left from the full 97 having been played. Palmer's back to his feet. Chelsea will need to go route one with this if they're to get anything other than a point out of this game. Attention for both these sides will turn to the 3 o'clock kickoff between Fulham and Bournemouth. And of course here on Flashco we'll have coverage of that as well as the other 3 o'clock games, and how they all impact the sides around them as we reach